Alrighty, hey, welcome to the Lockdown Sessions, presented to you today, as always, by our good friends in New York City, True Heel Heat Wrestling. They got a podcast. They've got a million podcasts, a million YouTube. They might even have a book coming out. They do so much. I learned so much from SP3, JJ, and Chrissy Love. Please check them out. If you're going to check out their podcast, check out Stu's wrestling podcast, because Stu's been on with us, and Stu's a great guy, does a great job. And then if you can fit a third podcast in, try Wrestling Travels. We're giving it a shot. We're live on Facebook every Thursday. It's a little bit of it needs some work, I'll admit it, but I like it. We're kind of rough around the edges. But speaking of rough around the edges, that's a terrible intro for you. I'm just saying, welcome to our guest, our return guest, Kyle Hessler. You guys remember Kyle from last summer, Independent Wrestling Expo, and he's got some other things, new things going on for 2021. Kyle, welcome back.
Always a pleasure to be back.
Now, Kyle, we talked a little bit before we started recording, and it sounded like you were in a very busy place, but now that it's gone silent, are we on speakerphone there, or what? Is everybody listening?
I don't know, man. It's like I'm here in Memphis, and they maybe hear I'm talking about wrestling, so they got hyped about it and just want to listen in no matter what.
waiting for Lala to show up. So, we want to do a real quick one. I want to talk to you a lot more over this, but we're wrapping up 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm looking ahead, and it looks like January 14th. I'm going to try to pronounce this now. You have a new promotion, and is it based out of Dallas? I mean, I know it's Texas based, but what would be the home area?
If you're North
Texas,
if you're in North Texas, it's always gonna be Dallas. It doesn't matter if it's Fort Worth or whatever. It's either you're Abilene, Texas, Dallas, Texas, San Antonio, Houston. That's just how it goes. But
is Arlington near there?
Arlington is near there. So actually, like, most of the time, if you like all the guys I'm flying in actually fly into technically Arlington. And so, like, we're right between the Cowboy. Our first show is going to be right in the shadow of Cowboy Stadium where the Cowboys play, But but it's always Dallas. DFW is really Dallas. Everyone just calls it Dallas. It's fine. It's Dallas. Dallas Championship Wrestling. It's fine.
We're basically, we come out of the United Kingdom. I'm sure I'll look it up. Somebody Google it right now. How many United Kingdoms fit inside of Dallas? Or not Dallas, but the state of Texas. Because I always hear, when I talk to the guys at home, they're like, listen, we'd love to, but that's like a 2-hour drive. And I'm like, bro, I used to drive 18 hours out to shows in Pennsylvania and back to Milwaukee. If you drive 18 hours in the UK, you're getting wet. You're in the river, or the river, the ocean. So talk to me about this new promotion. I'm going to attempt to pronounce it right now. Everybody looking at it right now, because we'll tag it in here, is going to have they're going to want to say Pale Pro Wrestling. But there's a little.
Yeah, the little umlaut, the thing. So I think I don't make any bones about this. I'm a Christian. And I was just one day, I was basically, after coming off the Indie Expo, I was like, man, we're going to do this. We're going to run it back. I love the Indie Expo. We're going to do this, but we're not going to do it monthly. And I really want to do a monthly show where I get to promote some guys within Texas, bring some guys in from out of state. And I just want to do this monthly. And so I found a really cool venue and made an agreement with them and got some good stuff going on. Legal Draft Brewery in Arlington, Texas. They're great beer, great brewery, great place to hang out just on a Sunday afternoon, Saturday evening, all that good stuff. But after coming to agreement, kind of figuring out some things, I was starting to brand. And I was just one day reading my New Testament, my Bible, and I came across Ephesians 6, and we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the principalities and the heirs of the powers of darkness. So famous kind of verse as far as Christianity goes. And I was just kind of curious. I was like, well, I wonder what that word is in the Greek. And I'm a big fan of looking into translations for the Bible and really getting context important. And happens to be that word is Pele, which is actually also the word for the Greek sport of wrestling. And I was just like, I was talking with some guys that I've met in the industry this year, and they were super cool about giving me some time, and I just started pitching some stuff. I was like, hey, what would you think about like Pele wrestling? And they're like, nah, it's okay. I was like, well, what about Pele pro wrestling? And they're like, no, it's okay. And I think somebody just said, why don't you just do Pele pro? It's a little bit different. It's a little off the wall. It kind of sticks out a little bit differently. And I just ran it by some other people. They really liked it. And like for me, it's a big deal to be able to talk about Christianity anytime I can. So I just thought this was a good motion. It's very different. The logo I got is awesome. Can't give enough shout outs to my logo design people. Wonderful job. So very satisfied with it. And so this is Pele Pro. Some people say Pale Pro. That's okay. I knew that there was going to be some mispronunciations. Some people say Pele or Pule or whatever. It's all good. It's, everyone sees the logo, gets the point across. I'm okay with it being mispronounced. And come January 14th, if you're watching Fight TV or Title Match Pro Wrestling, you're going to hear it pronounced perfectionally by my commentators. And so it's all good.
Have the commentators been practicing just so they don't?
Well, I'm going to have to give them, some Greek lessons, but it's okay.
Yeah, because I heard a mutual friend of ours.
Yes.
He pronounced it Pale, and I had been pronouncing it Pale. And I'm like, oh, it's Pale. And then I talked to you off camera, obviously, and it's going to take me a while to get the now what happens if you get some real Greek people that all of a sudden tell you, oh, no, it's pronounced like a fourth different way? We'll have to have another lockdown session and figure it out.
We'll clarify it. I'm not worried about it.
Cool. So we're gonna have a lockdown session on kind of Independent Wrestling Expo. Just a note for the viewer: we actually did a really good week or so after, kind of a rundown and of. I didn't want the viewers to think, well, why didn't you guys do it? Well, we did, but it was just you and I got to shoot in the breeze, and it went a long time, and it didn't get, how do I say it? It didn't get unprofessional, but I'm like, we could have done a better job of.
I was still tired from the weekend. Maybe had a whiskey or two. It's all good.
Right. So we'll do that. So now you talk about wanting to run a monthly show, and Pele Pro comes. How does it? What's the genesis of it? No pun intended, because I just used the Bible word. But you kind of want to run it and stuff. So what is that like for you coming out of a huge show like that? Do you think that it was easier because you didn't get your feet wet. You jumped in the pool with the expo. But do you think that's easier, or having that experience, or if you would have just had, okay, I didn't have the expo, I want to start running a monthly thing?
Yeah.
And I know you did your due diligence. You were up at Warrior talking to Steve and Eric and really making sure that you do things right. But easier that you had the expo under your feet?
Different. I definitely think it's easier in terms of, I'll put it this way. Everyone I booked on my card for January 14th, I know well, or I have good recommendations on. And I think the fact of how the expo went down, everyone that was there had a great time, and it may not have drawn as well. We took a swing at, post, COVID's such a weird year. 2020 is so weird. We were just thinking, this might draw a large crowd, and it didn't draw what we wanted, but we were still satisfied with it. And all the wrestlers were super happy, had a great time. People that hadn't worked all year long, some of them haven't worked since. It's just kind of crazy. So after doing that and kind of getting my feet under me and learning from people, because, one thing as a fan, I would consider myself like a smart mark, just because I watch. I don't mean that in a good way necessarily, but I know, I watch the backstage documentaries. I watch all the behind the scenes stuff from WWE. And so being kind of smart to stuff, I had to really unlearn stuff or learn properly, if that makes sense. So doing the expo was a great experience, and I definitely think it helped me. I think I could have maybe done this without doing it, but I think it definitely helped. And God works in means. I'm a full believer of that. So the fact that I've been brought to this situation, it's probably helps a lot that I took a swing at something in August, and I learned a lot. So doing monthly is just going to be different. And thankfully, the guys that I've talked to, I'm regularly just talking with them, just like, hey, what do you want to do? How you want to do this? How you want to do this? What do you think about this guy? And it's really worked out well that the people I'm booked are committed and get the vision. And I'm a big fan of, I always say, I have no problem with a bunch of super kicks or Canadian destroyers. Wrestling's new. I have no problem with new moves and new stuff, but it's got to make sense. It's got to be storytelling. And so I'm big into storytelling. And so as much as I love doing the expo, the one thing we can do with that was tell stories. And I want to help provide a canvas for the wrestlers to tell a story. I'm not the storyteller. I'm not by any means. I might have some ideas, some suggestions, but realistically, I'm just providing a platform for these guys to tell a story. And doing monthly stuff with commitments and bringing guys back allows for them to tell good stories. And that's what I'm into. So I'm not tooting my horn. I'm not saying better than anyone. I'm not saying I'm doing anything better in the state of Texas. I'm just a humble dude that just likes wrestling and just frankly, I'm putting on the shows that I as a fan want to see.
That's awesome. And if anybody had missed our first lockdown, like your background, so nobody says, "Oh, this guy's just coming out of nowhere." Your background's MMA. I know there's some boxing in there, possibly. I might have that wrong, but it's not like, and that's a totally different locker room. Your MMA locker room versus wrestling locker room. So it's and that makes sense. And I love to hear that you're into storytelling. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. Last summer, 2019, I am at SummerSlam with Wrestling Travel. About a dozen people from the UK there. We took them there because it's awesome, because Wrestling Travel is, I pay for my ticket, I've got my flight, I've got my hotel, I'm going to Raw, I'm going to SmackDown, I'm going to SummerSlam, and I've paid for that in monthly installments. It wasn't a big chunk out of my paycheck. That was my cheap plug, but since we got the logo on, I got to do it. Yeah. Sitting up in kind of the, upper, wherever I got a grade, I'm on the hard cam side. The owner, Lee McAteer, says, "Hey, let's get a selfie." We take a selfie, and I look at it, and I go, "You know who is 2 seats behind me? Billy Corgan."
Wow.
So, and Billy they still hadn't done it was a summer, so I hadn't run the NWA show.
Right.
So, most people are like, I'm going to leave the guy alone. But I was like, well, no, you know what? I'm not going to fanboy over, but I turned around and shook his hand and said, "Hey, and thanks for, you took a lot of heat for purchasing the NWA name. I go, thank you for what they were doing the 10 pounds of gold with all this, the web series. I go, thank you for all that you're doing with old school wrestling." And he says, "Dude, I want a wrestling that makes sense." Talking about telling stories, and two big guys just beating the heck out of each other. That's what I remember watching.
Yeah.
That's what I want to bring back. So that's kind of what you remind me of that. And, people can say what they want about Billy Corgan, and people have. But that conversation, as short as it was, I was like, dude, my hat's off. Respect to that guy. And my hat's off to you, because this is going to be a challenge. But I love it when there's a challenge and there's a guy like you that says, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is my dream. So we're really looking forward to it. Can you talk about some of the matchups that are coming up?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely want to do that. So we've got, I think, about 7 matches. I'm trying to, the show's going to be streaming on Fight. So I hope Wrestle Travel wants to give away some free stuff on that. So it's going to be on Fight, and then it's also going to be on Wrestling, or Title Match Wrestling as well. So if you guys want to give away something to Fight, more than happy to support that. But we're going to have, it's going to be probably about a 2-hour card. I don't want to go too much longer than that, with it being it's going to be a Thursday night. So we're going to start off with I think it's going to start off with a 5-man match, 5-man scramble. This is going to be an interesting kind of matchup where we've got Balak Bridges, Skip Terrific, and then those guys are local around here. And then I'm also bringing in Sean Evans and Icon Lee. They're being brought in by a manager named Nastico. He's a big heel manager down here in DFW. He's bringing these guys in. And I think it's going to be an interesting dichotomy of some local Texas guys with some out-of-state guys. And a big thing for me is bringing in some out-of-state guys and just seeing what they can do kind of in Texas. It's a little bit of a different scene. And so I think with 5-man scramble, I think it's going to be really interesting. And I believe the plan is we're going to offer a contract, or at least form of a contract in, you're going to be guaranteed to come back for the winner. So whoever wins that is guaranteed another shot back in Pele Pro. So that'll be a good way to start.
Very cool. And it's very cool to get these guys on Fight TV, get a few more eyeballs on them. And I want to say before you go on, that Wrestling Travel and the lockdown sessions, I would love to get every one of these guys on a lockdown session. And that way, going ahead into the event, people will go, hey, at least I saw that. I like that guy. He was pretty cool. Or, hey, I know that guy's a heel coming. So, yeah, that sounds like a great opener.
Yeah, absolutely. We've also got, these aren't in particular order. I'll kind of hammer home if they're, where they're at. One of the marquee matches, again, kind of hitting on that, bringing in a little bit of Texas talent, bringing in a little out-of-state talent. Your man, Garrison Creed, is going to be in a triple threat with Jason Bruce, who is a staple of APW in Cleburne, Texas, and AJZ. He's bringing his manager in. That's going to be a fun triple threat with a great mix of different flavors and stuff going on. You got some pounding, hardcore, a lot of lariats, old school style with Jay Bruce in Texas. And then you got Garrison Creed, Smash Mouth and Mercenary. Got some great moves. Been all over the country this last year. And then you got AJZ, who's a staple of OVW, and he's a great guy. You ever turn into OVW, he's going to be one of their marquee guys, I think. So that's going to be just a great match. I'm a big fan of triple threats when they're done well, and I think this is going to be a fun match.
Well, you can guess who my money is on or who I'm rooting for in that one.
Oh, I would imagine it's your Milwaukee buddy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's see what else. You're going to get a little bit of a. I'll come back to this in a second, but I'm going to break some news for you on this show, so that'll be cool. One of the matches I'm most excited about is Magnificent Malico. I'm going to show this up right there versus Beastman Huss. Beastman, a staple of Warrior Wrestling. Malico is probably the best promo you haven't heard yet, and this is just like. You're a fan of, if you're a fan of like, we're going to do 20 moves in 1 minute, this is not the match. If you're into storytelling, gimmick wrestling, and then not gimmick like it's bad, but in terms of these guys are going to tell a freaking story, this is your match. This one I was more excited about anything else I put on because these guys are just going to tell a great story, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun when it's all said and done because these guys, Beastman Huss, comes out caveman gimmick, yelling, screaming. He's got the bone, all that different stuff. Got the camouflage, not the camouflage. What am I trying to say?
The hoodie, like the bear on it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the bear that he killed back in the West Virginia mountains. He's got that over him, and then Malico is he's the leader of the Dark World. He's a faction here in Texas. He's an evil clown kind of gimmick. It's just awesome. If you haven't seen this guy yet, it's a shame he hasn't been signed yet because his promos are up there with anybody in the business right now. So this is going to be a great match. I'm not sure if that's going to be the co-main event yet or not, but it's just going to be an awesome match. So I'm very excited about that one. And I know Beastman. That's your guy.
Dude, Beastman. I mean,
it's your guy.
What a great dude. You look at him like a big man and you think, oh, well, it's just going to be a slow, methodical match, and he is anything but. I can imagine. Make sure the ring announcers make Beastman come out first so we can see him hang over and put the rope in his mouth. But you were there at Warrior Wrestling before I knew Beastman was, and that first time he comes out, and by the time he came out and fought Rhino at that third Stadium Series, he was a replacement for Lance Archer, I think. And dude, that place was on its feet for the Beastman. So that's a treat for anybody. And Malico I saw at the Indie Wrestling Expo. I can't wait to see more of him, but that great matchup.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I was going to say, if you're not familiar with Beastman yet and watching Fight TV, you're not paying attention because this guy is a hot commodity right now. He's a great worker and 400 legit pounds. He did come up short against Rhino back in the Stadium Series, and he just saw me after his match, grabbed me and said, "I'm coming to Texas." So he's a great guy. Yeah.
The Beastman on social media, I don't know how this is going to hold up for the holidays, but dude, he's meal prepping. He's trying to get himself in the beast mode. So, I mean, by January 14th, he could be more of a terror than he already is.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you want to hear some other ones? Because I just got a couple more. So they're kind of there's 4 other things going on, but they're really just a few other. They're boiled down. So the marquee matchup of the night, I think, as far as Texas wrestling goes, this is everything. We got Chandler Hopkins, who was at the Indie Expo and had he beat Chris Masters in the Master Lock Challenge. He went against Sam Adonis, and he went against Lance Archer. This guy is tough as nails. The last cowboy, Chandler Hopkins, he's going against Will frickin' Alday. That is, you don't get much better than this. Is classic X Division, Super J Cup, New Japan. This is everything you want in. You want to see guys work, this is it. There's nothing going to be better than this match. So very excited for this one.
Dude, I loved watching them both work the last time. And then inside story, I was going to have Will Alday on the lockdown session. We had one day messed up, and the next day he wasn't. He had a lot of things going on and feeling a little bit under the weather. So that's coming up soon. I can't wait for that.
Great guy. Both those guys, don't be surprised if they're not on your Wednesday night, Tuesday night, Monday night TVs very, very soon. They are incredible workers. So I'm happy that I'm getting a chance to book them, particularly against each other, one time before they're not available for the independent scene. I'll just put it that way.
Well, can I jump in right there on that thought?
Yeah.
What was at the Indie Wrestling Expo, Kurt Stallion, who's currently on 205 Live, was that his last independent show?
So I believe he had one last empty arena taping sort of thing, because he told me he was going to do something the following weekend. I don't know if that happened. I never saw it. I'm not saying that so that I get to claim anything.
Yeah.
No short of the imagination, you can ask Kurt directly. The fact I got his last indie match was more coincidence than anything. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we had his last teaming with his buddy Jake something against Injustice from MLW. I'm pretty sure this was his last indie booking, and I'm very happy for him. He is obviously killing it on 205 Live. Couldn't be more happy for Kurt. But it is kind of funny because I'm not his home promotion, and Indie Expo was not his home promotion. So it is kind of funny that it just kind of happened to work out that way. But couldn't be happy for Kurt.
Even if it's not true, I take full credit to have his last interview before he's unavailable to a guy like me.
He's killing it. If he's not cruiserweight champion by the start of next year, the WWE is not doing something right. I'm just gonna say, don't care.
I love what he's doing on there. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to ask that.
No, it's fine. It's all good. No, I've got still more stories from the Indie Expo. That's really funny. So we'll have to go into the deep dive one day. But just going back, the last kind of, this is the breaking news, so you get this. We've decided to make a one-night, 4-man tournament. So we've kind of combined a couple different matches that we have into a one-night tournament. So Otto Van Clutch, who's a California native, surfer, great guy. He was also on the Indie Expo. He's going to go against Nobi Bryant, and this will be round 1. And then we also got Sam Adonis versus Oscar Palmino. Oski is kind of a Texas staple, legend, luchador. He's been in the business a long time. I believe he said he trained back at the power plant, so he's been doing this a while. Wild veteran. Of course, Sam Adonis. If you don't know who Sam Adonis is, he's the best kept secret in independent wrestling. Again, somebody that I'm not going to be able to book him in 6 months. Like, there's no way this guy isn't going to be on there Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday night TVs sooner than you think. So, that's our 4-man tournament, and it's not necessarily we're gonna have I'm not sure what we're gonna have a prize for them. I don't want to promise a belt per se. Don't be surprised if it shows up, but I just don't want to promise that this is gonna be like the Pele Heavyweight Championship, because we're not sure what we want to do for titles yet. I want to be very careful about that. But I will put it this way: the winner of that, I could expect to be the guy of our promotion. I would expect whoever wins this tournament is going to be our number 1 guy for a while. Even if he doesn't have a title per se, expect this guy to be our main eventer for a while. So that will be a great one-night tournament. And, it's going to be pretty interesting. It's different stashes of clashes of style and everything. So again, trying to hit on that point of got a guy from Pittsburgh, got a guy from California, got a guy from Texas, got a guy from Mexico. We're trying to bring in the best talent we can to Pele Pro.
That's all. I mean, you're stacked with talent there. I can't say enough. We'll go in a deep dive when we talk about the expo. But dude, Noby Bryant, you talk about a secret Texas was keeping from us.
Yeah.
Watching him on the Friday night and wins the battle royal for the NWA title, and
This close.
Him and all this on. I mean, is that still available to order on Fight TV or High Spots or something? You got to watch this, guys. If you're watching this,
free on YouTube. Just go to Pele Pro Wrestling on YouTube, and you can find it.
The whole show?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's in bits and pieces, but you can find every match from the Indie Expo. Just go to look up Pele Pro Wrestling. It's been a little hard to find it sometimes because it's still a new channel. But
we'll try to put a link up here if we can, or when we tweet this out, I'll put a link.
Look up Noby Bryant versus Nick Aldis. You'll find it. So great match. Of course, watch the Battle Royale beforehand. Tells the story from the weekend. Noby Bryant had to overcome all the odds. Wins the Battle Royale. Gets the shot of a lifetime. Just so close, man. Breaks my heart for the guy.
Watch Garrison Creed. I got to put that in there. But also,
that's my dude.
Miranda Gordy versus Jordan Grace was
14,000 views on YouTube for those two.
Dude, that's a match and a half. I loved it watching it live, and that was just. And that's what I love about you, man. You put some good matches together then, and it looks like you're still doing it.
Well, to be fair, the Indie Expo had a lot of help, a lot of suggestions. It's not all about me. I put some. I won't. The Indie Expo was a collaborative effort between me, Devin Storm, Stephen Wright. So I appreciate it. I really do. Pele Pro is mine. I've put together most of the matches, if not all of them. It's my show that I'm booking with Devin Storm. But the Indie Expo was a collaborative effort. And frankly, you know this as well as anyone. I can put the match together, but who cares about the match if it doesn't deliver? But everyone on that weekend, nobody slacked. Everyone could have phoned it in that weekend. They could have been like, oh, I care. I'm just going to get paid and get out of here. No one did that. I think I got 5-star matches every match. So shout out to all the people that did the Indie Expo.
Had I realized that was free on YouTube right now, I probably would have canceled the interview and started watching stuff again. Because, you watch it when I'm watching stuff live on Fight TV, there's not the potty break or the phone rings or something. And so you do miss a little bit because especially with a 2-day event, but it's nice to go back. And if you're like me, just kind of analyze and check everything out. But dude, is the halftime heat on YouTube as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was 12 hours of wrestling, and it's all on YouTube.
Oh, I was gonna say right now, if you are home for the holidays and got some time off from work, or if you're like some of us and maybe you still haven't gotten back to work, to put a little smile on your face, to have it for free on YouTube, Kyle, that's huge.
Well, I wanted to make sure we were using it to build. Promoting wrestling it's hands to mouth. I learned this from just not personally. I just listening to Jerry Jarrett just give some interviews. It's if you don't book right, you go from steak to bread, and I think that's the way he explained it. So I'm happy right now where we're at, just to provide some stuff, just to get some people interested. I'd rather give you a match and say, hey, they put on some good stuff. And then next time, if I ask for $1 or whatever, you'll be like, yeah, well, you did good the first time, so I'm happy to do that. And so, yeah, the Indie Expo is free, all on YouTube. You can watch it. I don't think you can watch it technically its entirety because there's some cuts and stuff like that. But, if you want to watch just some good wrestling, and frankly, I don't know if any of the workers would say this or the wrestlers would say this, but I really feel that was one of the better cards from this year, just for the simple fact of you start listing the guys, and I won't say them by name because I don't want to cause any issues, but you start listing the guys on that show, guys and girls, that didn't work for like 4 or 5 months prior to August, they went balls out. And so part of that's just timing. That has nothing to do with me. They didn't owe me jack. They just wanted to go out there and do their, practice their art. And kudos to them for that. I was just happy to provide a platform for them. And I felt like I got 4 and 5 star matches every match, because some people were just, man, I missed wrestling. And so you could feel, please, the only thing I would ask is if you go to PelePro.com or either PelePro.com will bring you to our website and you can get connected to the YouTube channel. If you do that, please just subscribe. That would be all I ask. So enjoy the show.
I love to do it. Yeah, give a thumbs up of a good match. Leave a comment. Don't leave. I mean, a lot of people like to sit behind the keyboard, and I've had to clean up some of our comments and stuff, and just But leave a nice comment in the spirit of the holiday. But man, free wrestling, a lot of you free wrestling, and I'll give you this: everybody on that card that had such a terrible 2020, we all did. Mm-hmm. All right, you look at guys like Garrison Creed and everybody on that show who obviously were not like me, but ate healthy, went to the gym. There was a real danger there of having a couple stinkers, some people that maybe, kind of phoned it in and come up, like you say, and just get a payday and just rely on their name. But dude, you had action personified.
Oh yeah. Could have been more pleased with the workers and even the fans and just everyone that helped make that weekend. Wrestling is what it is. It's, unless you're Vince McMahon, you're not making lots of money at this, and that's okay. I mean, I love wrestling, and I was happy to put on a fun card, or I should say help put on it. I wish my people that were with me were here right now, so it didn't seem like it's all about me, because it's not. But through the grace of God, we were able to put on, I think, a really fun independent wrestling card, and it had a lot of great talent from the NWA, from MLW, from AEW, Ring of Honor, former WWE guys. I mean, it's just a great card. And so, shout out to that. And, if there's any momentum left over from that, I would just hope people see that and say, hey, I'm going to check out Pele Pro, and understand that maybe I'm not bringing in the same guys from AEW and stuff like that. I understand that. But these guys are handpicked to tell good stories. And if you think January 14th, if you watch and tune in on Fight or Title Match and watch, you're going to be in. I think you're going to have a great time of watching wrestling on Thursday, which what other wrestling is on Thursday anyway? No disrespect to anyone that is on Thursdays. But if you can just bear with us and buy in and trust us and trust the product, February 11th is going to even be a better card. And March is going to even be a better card. So just bear with us. We're building something. This is your opportunity to get in on the first show and say, I remember that first show. That's exactly what I want the feeling to be come January 5th, 14th is I want people to wake up January 15th and say, man, that was fun. That was a good card. And I can't wait to watch the next one.
And that's the thing. We're broadcasting worldwide on here. Obviously, our home base is Manchester, England. We have fans from all over the world. But to get your first opportunity, everybody starts somewhere. How many times? Dude, I had Shaul Guerrero on the lockdown sessions, Eddie Guerrero's daughter. And the story I told her is I'm a huge AWA fan because I'm older than dirt. But one of my favorite wrestlers was a guy named Ricky Rice that nobody's heard of. He threw one of the best drop kicks in the world. I think they were taking on Bad Company, Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond, who more people would know as the Orient Express in the WWE. And they're taking on, and it's usually, a big name and a jobber, and you know who's going to win. Well, it's Ricky Rice, who's kind of mid-card doing good. And then they introduce his partner, and I'm like, oh, this is the dude that's going to take the pin. Mando Guerrero. I mean, you talk about Texas wrestling. My first introduction, because I was like, oh, this is the guy that's going to take a loss. You got to remember, this is like 87, 88. And as a kid, I'm like, holy crap, that Mando Guerrero put on a show, and my boy Ricky Rice took the pin. So this is the reason I'm telling that story is watching Nobi Bryant, watching Chandler Young, watching Kurt Stallion, Otto Von Clutch, these guys that maybe I knew their name, maybe I didn't, but seeing them work on that first Indie Wrestling Expo show. I'm telling you, if you're a wrestling fan and you're putting these guys in front of me, I want to watch it. I want to learn. I want to find out who these guys are. And it's nice to be, it's like discovering that first CD. This is my band. Nobody knows about me yet. I was listening beforehand. That's what Pele, I almost said Pele Pro is going to bring to you is, hey, we're going to bring you some hidden gems before you even know that they're hidden. So be on the ground floor. And I got to say to everybody else, cynical, and I keep cutting you off because I'm a bad journalist, but when you talk about putting on something like the Independent Wrestling Expo, where you've got megastar, it's simply, we know that's not feasible unless you're a big conglomerate, publicly run company to get megastar on every show. But what I like is I think you're going to be building some megastar. You got a long road ahead of you because I think, like you say, some of these guys are going to be out and you're going to have to keep building stars. But it sounds like fun.
I think the best problem I could have is finding out I get a guy's last indie booking. I'm my bread and butter wrestling, honestly, when I came into maturity of loving wrestling, was Ring of Honor from 2004 to maybe 2007, 2008. I mean, that was like peak. This is my jam. I will watch. Give me the DVDs. I'm going to watch everything I can. And I just think about things like, it was funny. Fight TV posted something like favorite CM Punk moment. And everyone's like, Money in the Bank, the Royal Rumble, all the Undertaker match. And I'm like, how about when he signed his WWE contract on his newly won Ring of Honor title? That got heat. Unbelievable. Like, if that was a 30,000 person crowd, they would have thrown every concession they could at him. And it was only in front of like 2,000 Philly fans, whatever. I'm a big fan of I don't want to say early Ring of Honor, but not that I'm not. But my peak of I just got really lucky that I was introduced to AJ Styles, which led to Ring of Honor really early into, I think, first 5 years of me liking wrestling. I just discovered Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, Austin Aries, CM Punk, Eddie Edwards, all these guys that were just they're staples of wrestling right now. Kevin Owens, I still there's all these guys that I still call by their original Ring of Honor.
El Generico, you're about to say.
El Generico, yeah. I want El Generico to come back so badly. Just I love that gimmick. He's a great worker anyway, but I love El Generico. I still call him Bryan Danielson to this day. I've never really called him Daniel Bryan. Just you go through the list of guys, it's just I love all these guys. Spanky, golly, I'm just trying to think of all the different guys. But here's the thing. This is the important thing, is if I was in their shoes in 2003, 2004, 2005, and these guys are getting signed off of 5-star, 4-star matches and just great feuds, great stories, great matches, that would make me happy. I'm not making any bones about it. I'm not. We all would love to be running WWE. Most of us don't realize we can't. Even if you think you're a good booker, there's a lot going on. I don't think most of us can run AW and all these promotions. Most of us can't do it. It takes really smart people, and all the people that are running it, even if you don't like it, they're doing a better job than most people would. I don't have any aspirations of that. I would just like to be the last stop on somebody's indie career. That would make me really happy to be the last one, shake their hand, give them payday, say, now go win the WWE title. Now go ring the AW World title. Now go win the New Japan World title. That would make me more happy than almost anything else, is to be the last stop for somebody. And so that's kind of, I don't want to say Pele Pro is based around that, but that's a desire of mine. A desire of mine is to be the last stop for somebody's indie career. And not because we pushed them there, but because we were just a platform for them to express their craft. I'm a big fan of telling guys when I'm talking to them about different ideas, is just saying, I'm just providing the canvas. You want a big canvas? You want a small canvas? It doesn't matter. The canvas is not what's important. The art is what is important. I'm just there to help further your career along. And I don't say that with any bones about who I am or anything like that. I'm just trying to help out. And I just like wrestling, and I just want to put on the best kind of cards that I can put on in DFW. And there's a lot of people doing it well. There's a lot of people doing better than me. I'm just going to provide an opportunity for something a little bit different. I think being inside a brewery is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of good beer, and I think the guys I'm booking are going to be really unique for Texas.
And I can't, I know you. I know what your character and everything, and not your character as a wrestling character, but your character, what's inside. I know everything that you say is coming from the heart, man. I'm excited. We're excited. Just as a fan, as a friend, as Wrestling Travel, we're happy to be here on the ground floor and watch it build. And obviously anything we can do to be part of that success and support all along. I can't wait for January 14th, but stay tuned between then and now, because we're going to I'm going to attempt, hopefully some of you guys will grant me access to the interviews.
Yes.
Some of these indie guys, I tell you what, I send them an email and they're like, hey kid, yeah, I'll get to you, or they don't read it. My favorite is you're familiar with Low Key, the wrestler. Low Key sends me a message back. And I just usually send, hey, I do the lockdown sessions on Wrestling Travel. I try to use it as an infomercial to boost everybody. But love to have you on the show. Give me like 20 minutes of your time, and hopefully we'll push your character and stuff. Low-key sends back, hey, I don't do watch-alongs with fans. And Wrestling Travel's like, do you think that he misunderstood? We'll message him back. I'm like, dude, just leave it because it's hilarious. But that's what he got out of all of that. So.
Clapper, don't get heat, man. Don't get heat.
No. I don't want any heat with anybody. That's why I was like, just leave it. Dude, if he doesn't want to do it, that's fine. But hopefully we get some of these guys on. We're going to keep it a little bit shorter today because you and I probably talked for an hour before we even did this. And I think we were going to do 20 minutes. And we probably went way over, but we have a lot more to talk about. So from Wrestling Travel and all of us, we're looking forward to Pele Pro. Get on YouTube and check out the stuff from Indie Wrestling Expo. Now, they're going to have – I usually leave trying to push give you the opportunity. I'm going to let you push the website, push the date of the show, and if there's merch out there already, I want you to push that. But the last question is yours, my friend.
Last question is mine. Man.
Well, you don't get to ask the question.
Oh, you know what?
Ask that last question.
No. I'm going to ask a question. What is the number one indie guy you would like me to bring to the state of Texas?
Well, I'm going to go with Garrison Creed, and you're already doing that.
No,
that's my boy.
Yes, that's fine. Give me another name. Give me somebody that is like, I see this guy on Impact, or I see this guy. I've seen this guy at the Expo. Even if it's somebody at the Expo, I'd be happy to bring back. What's one guy you'd like me to bring to the state of Texas?
I'm trying to think of some unsung people that maybe haven't had their.
No, forget them. No, I'll get them. I'm scouting Clapper.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. You know what? I don't know what's going on. I know he's got a lot of stuff going on, but I sure would like to see Trey Miguel in Texas. We've seen him, current Warrior Wrestling champion. I don't know what's going to happen there, but I'd like to see him. Brian Pillman Jr., current OVW champion. I'd like to see him. How about Mr. Spectacular Jesse Goddard's current OVW national champion?
I'll just say I've made contact with all three, and I would say Trey McGill was a guy I was going to message for a future date for sure. And Pillman also, I would definitely, and Mr. Spectacular, definitely have DM'd him a couple times on Twitter about his availability. So I'm glad you said those three, because those are guys I want to think of. I was hoping you to say something like Ace Austin or Madman Fulton.
Oh, dude. Here's my story on Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. All right. A long time ago, when I was a little kid, when I read wrestling magazines, and I still do, there was a story on the Hart Foundation. Whoever was writing that had a quote, and it's probably they wrote it, and it didn't actually come from Bret Hart or Jim the Anvil Neidhart. But Bret Hart said, we call ourselves the Porsche and the tank. I'm the Porsche and the Anvil's the tank. And I tried to get this over in our podcast. I'm like, dude, who better resembles that statement, the Porsche and the tank, than Ace Austin, the Porsche, and Madman Fulton, the tank?
Right.
And all these kids that are way younger than me are like, oh, I don't think so. And I'm like, dude, That's perfect for
No.
them. The Porsche in the tank, dude. Madman Fulton's a beast. Ace Austin's flying all over. I'll tell you what, I got to see Ace Austin wrestle at several times when I was in Pennsylvania for True Wrestling in
He's
a
unbelievable.
place that held 10 to 15 people.
He's
In fact,
unbelievable.
his big clip that kind of went viral was when he jumped off the basketball hoop in that armory
Yeah.
for True Wrestling, which goes to show you that I would go to that and support independent wrestling when they probably couldn't even fit 20 or 30 people in there. But these guys that I'm like, I don't know who they are, and then to watch a guy like Ace just come out of like seemingly nowhere for everybody else, but knowing the work that they put in and working, I mean, I couldn't be happier for the guy.
I will book that guy every day of the week and twice on Sundays. That guy is incredible, and so is Madman Fulton. So I would say I asked for one name, you gave me 5. So then most of them I was already thinking about. So that's great.
How about I'll give you Mike Orlando and Ali Rex from PPW. We'll have a talk.
Okay. Because that's what I'm talking about, Clapper. I need you for scouting. You're my I'm the GM. You're just scouting some college talent for me, man. I'm just trying to look.
Yeah, you know what? And you could actually go through the lockdown list. That's what's cool.
Okay.
I've seen people get booking or somebody had asked about, and I will say, hey, check out this guy. I did a lockdown session, and that's why I'm familiar with him. So that's all I've ever wanted with this platform was to help wrestling and wrestlers out. So that's why I think it's cool, because if you're a promoter, you can kind of go through that lockdown and maybe watch something and go, yeah, you know what, that guy's a little arrogant, or I really like this guy. Let me look him up, and there you go, providing the background. And then once this vaccine and this world gets to a better place, then let's talk about sending some Americans to the UK and bring some British strong style to Texas, and that's when it's going to get fun.
I've got some Cowboys that would like to travel across the pond. I can tell you that for sure. So
awesome. We can do a lot of. Let's get the world back. Let's have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And Happy Hanukkah and Happy Kwanzaa, Ramadan, and any other holidays.
That I'm missing. And that's why sometimes I say Happy Holidays, and it's because I just want to be inclusive to everybody. But you know what? If somebody comes up and wishes me a Happy Hanukkah, that's their way of saying Merry Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever. I don't ever get offended. We're in a very offended culture right now because we've been
people need to chill out for real. Like I'm happy to say that. Yeah. Anyway, let's not get ourselves. Let's not get cancel culture.
No, we're not gonna. But you're gonna have some trouble with us people up here in the north, because we come out of the long winter here in Wisconsin, cabin fever, ready to go, and we get hit with Corona, and now we're going right back into the winter. We didn't even get a chance to go out and do a whole lot this summer. So I tell you what, if they get a vaccine going, or look out for the state of Wisconsin next year. So I got to let you go. Everybody's probably looking at you funny at the restaurant, hotel, or wherever you're at. But
you can't see they've been sitting on the other side of the camera. I can't turn it, but there's like a whole crowd. Hey everyone.
Big star right here. I was hoping maybe somebody buy you a drink because they're like, you're doing an exclusive interview for Wrestling Travel. Okay, I'll stop rambling. Kyle, I will see you. Hopefully it's not sooner than you want, but I'm going to see you very soon because I want to get a deep dive. I want to talk a little more before January 14th and talk some more Independent Wrestling Expo. We got to review that show again, awesome. So we'll get on it. So don't hang up on me yet, but for the show, Kyle Hessler, Pele Pro. Oh.
PelePro.com, Pele Wrestling with the no G at the end, wrestling. That's my Twitter and Facebook as well, Pele Pro Wrestling, and PelePro.com with no little, it's just PalePro.com. It's the easiest way to get info. Please, if you're in the DFW area, please come to this first show. We didn't even talk about this. I got Lance Archer coming for the my bad. We got a VIP thing. He won't be on Fight, but Lance Archer is going to come to our VIP Fan Fest. It's a before the show autograph session. $30 gets you to a pre-show with autographs. meet and greet with Lance Archer, the front row to the show, and then after party. So $30 gets you quite a bit of quite a bit of wrestling for, not that much money. But yeah, the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer himself, will be at the Pele Pro debut fan fest. So sorry, way to bury the lead, but anyway, that's good.
Both of us. Well,
Yeah,
I tell you
my
what.
bad.
I tell you what. I don't want to ruin his image, but one of the coolest guys that you can meet. Talk about watching
The
somebody
indie
tear it
taker
up
himself.
on TV. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he's outstanding.
Best guy in the business.
That's awesome.
Yeah, best guy in the business. We're gonna have a very safe platform for him to be. We're obviously it's gonna be a safe show no matter what for everybody, but we're taking care of him. He will be there for photos, autographs, merch sales. He's just gonna be there for like 2 hours or so, hour and a half, hour. I can't remember exactly, but if you're gonna come between 6:30 and 7:30, VIP only. Like Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk Monster, Texas legend, will be there. So if you're anywhere near DFW, this is definitely a show worth checking out. So I got people coming from Houston, Florida, California. I got people coming all over. But if you live in Texas, this is a show you can't miss.
They're on the ground floor, like I said, and like you said, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And support these guys. Garrison Creed. I always say this to him, but he's a guy. When I first saw him, I knew immediately, and I've been in the business for way long, but I'm like, dude, that guy, I want to buy a T-shirt of his. He's got a look. He looks like a wrestler. This is not, even though it's going to be held at a brewery, this is not my bar league wrestling. You're putting on fantastic wrestling. Get to the YouTube if you enjoy and want. I mean, just the fact that you are giving this out for us for free, we got to subscribe to that YouTube channel and watch these matches. And I'll tell you what, there's so many to watch, but you got to check out Miranda and Jordan's match of Nobi versus all that. I mean, there's some I missed at the halftime heat. I'm so jacked up that they're going to be on there for free that I'm going to hang up on you now and go watch it.
There you go,
all
man.
Right.
Good talking with you, Clapper.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon.